Contrary to popular belief, I am not one to poo-poo ideas just to poo-poo on ideas. But I was eager to talk about this topic today because it comes from the Athletics' Jeff Schultz, who, if there was a person that people are more split about in this fan base, I don't genuinely believe he hates the Braves, but some of his ideas, I could tell you he doesn't know baseball very well. I don't know how long. I know he's been covering the game forever. Doesn't mean that you know the game. It is absolutely ridiculous, some of the things he was saying. So he's talking about these offseason changes, which we've talked about this entire show. We agree things need to be changed. I'm not even against making significant trades. The problem is, who are you going to trade? Because the Braves do have all these guys locked into team-friendly deals that are all-star caliber players. And two guys that he brings up in this article from The Athletic, go check it out if you want to. It's not hard to find. Just go to the Braves section, are Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris. My jaw almost dropped because I don't understand the thought process in either of these deals. First of all, Ozzie Albies, listen, the hauls you could get for these players would be incredible. But with Ozzie Albies, it goes beyond the haul. This is Ronald Acuña's best friend. And baseball is a business, right? But you know it's a bad business? Trading away your star players who you want to keep happy at all times. There's maybe some times where you don't want to, you can make moves. This is not a guy you can trade beyond the fact that Ozzie Albies on the field production in his contract makes him one of the most valuable players per dollar in the game. So unless you're getting prime Pedro Martinez to get in your starting rotation, this is out of the realm of possibility. There's not even a question. He's not even in trade talks because as much as you don't want to act like Ronald Acuña's happiness is important because you have a thing that, speaking to Jeff Schultz, you have a thing against Ronald Acuña. It is very important. Keeping him happy and trying to keep him here for his entire career is very, very, very important. And what the Braves should be working on most is improving the clubhouse, keeping people together, keeping people, guys that love each other and stuff like that. Because not only does that matter on 162 games, it matters during these down times when you've struggled against the Phillies and in the postseason. There's just so many reasons I hate this deal. It goes beyond unfathomable that you would even mention it.
Yeah. This goes to, I'm going to say something about, this, I'm making, strong stretches, but I liken it to the NFL, or even you could go a step further. And I don't want to, diminish what WAR can be, but knowing the guy next to you in a bunker, or knowing the guy next to you in the trenches on a football team, and he's got your back and you've got his back, goes a long way in sports. A lot of these people who look at sports through a spreadsheet can't calculate the heart and the desire of players in baseball in particular, in football, any sport. And that goes a long way. Chemistry, love, showing up every single day and wanting to play great, wanting to practice every single day, showing up every single day, getting 1% better for the guy next to you is very important. Aside from that, let's just go aside from that. There's this nifty little website called Baseball Trade Values, and it basically quantifies how valuable a person is if they were to be traded from production to how much their contract is worth. There is not a single pitcher that has much as a surplus value as Michael Harris, who is at like $121 million. The closest one is George Kirby, who is $70 million less in surplus value. So I understand, and I think Schultz is on the right track. That, yes, we have to get starting pitching. If it costs an arm and a leg, it costs an arm and a leg because it's going to show up in October. It's just, that's not the arm and a leg. It's not going to be Michael Harris and Ozzie Albies. That's not the arm and a leg we're getting. AJ Smith-Shawver, Hurston Waldrop, Vaughn Grisham. Yeah, take them all. I don't care. Those are the guys, and I know a lot of Braves fans might not like that these guys could have frontline starter potential. That's what I need, surefire stuff in the postseason. Michael Harris is 21, 22 years old. We cannot base his postseason failures over at, whatever, how many game sample size he's had, 8 game sample size. I mean, that's just idiotic to do, let alone if we are going to try and trade him. There's nobody on the market today that is worth trading him for.
You would have to get your number one and your number two on any team that you'd go to. And frankly, that's probably not happening because the other team's not going to want to do this. Dude, Michael Harris is one of the most valuable players in all of baseball. He's under contract through 2032. And let me remind you that he is 22 years old, already performing at an all-star level. He's a gold glover defensively, which you would have to replace. You also got to replace him in the outfield if you're going to trade him away. He's a Gold Glover in the outfield. And I know he struggled at the beginning of last year, but you go look from June, the middle of June on, he had like a 960 OPS. And Jeff Schultz actually went to Twitter to try to defend this because he was getting berated by Braves fans for the idiotic notion that you would actually consider trading this player. And he said, oh, we don't really know how good of an offensive player. This guy is 22 years old and has an 828 OPS. And as I said, he was a better offensive player this year, even though the numbers were a little worse, because he had 2 big injuries early in the season that really he had to get back. Once he was right, he was one of the best offensive center fielders in all the game. So for saying because he went 1 for 27 over an 8-game sample size in the postseason that you don't know if he's a good offensive player, you're an idiot. You're a moron. You're a complete buffoon. I want to emphasize that. That is so overreactionary and so ludicrous that you have a 250-game sample size where he's a career 828 OPS hitter before the age of 23, and you're questioning that he's a good offensive player because of what he did in the postseason against some of the best pitchers in baseball. You're an idiot. Like, that is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I actually think I'm going to take this 8-game sample size over this 250-game sample size. Not to mention he's under contract through 2032 at like what, $8, $9, $10 million a year. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here? And then like prefaces with it, he's a good guy. No, it's not about, I don't care. Me and you, if there's 2 people that do not care on your team, it's not me. I love Michael Harris. He is a good guy. And I would never talk down on his name, whether he was performing poorly or not. But let me tell you, if you're not performing on my team, I will be the first person to suggest shipping you out of here. It's ridiculous. Go ahead.
Let's give a little bit of perspective here. You know, most recently, who's been one of the most clutch hitters in baseball in the postseason in particular? Probably Bryce Harper, at least 1, 2, or 3. The guy's just been absolutely clutch. He did just falter in the NLCS this past year. But here's some stats from his similar aged seasons as Michael Harris in the postseason in his first. A 130 batting average and a 522 OPS. And look at who he's become. This Braves team, it's not just Michael Harris either. Like, this entire these are babies. And especially in the postseason experience matters. And I know that's why I'm harping on getting guys in the pitching staff who are experienced in the postseason. But in terms of the position players, these guys are babies. These guys don't have a ton of experience. The championship window is wide open. And you want to close it a little bit by trading possibly your most valuable asset in Michael Harris? No, you're done. No. And I never like to insult people. I do not like to insult people.
Well,
I think it loses you the argument.
Well, that's what I want to preface. You know, you're an idiot about baseball. I'm not calling you an idiot in real life. I really have nothing against Jeff Schultz. Everyone can have their own opinions. I normally do not agree with them, but I am telling you from a baseball knowledge perspective, considering Michael Harris as a trade candidate is moronic. It is stupid. You're an idiot if you believe that. And saying that he's not a good offensive player, especially given the position that he plays, which is the most valuable position on the diamond, is one of the most ludicrous things I have ever heard in my life. And it's so overreactionary and so stupid that I have to get on here and tell you how stupid it is. If the Braves trade Michael Harris this offseason, I will go to Fox and end this show. I'll say I can't go it because I'm an idiot. I'm the idiot. But I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. It's not even going to be considered. If someone calls, it's a hang up the phone. Alex Anthopoulos rips people off. He doesn't get ripped off. That would be so unbelievably stupid. I can't even fathom the thought of it. I can't believe it was actually written. Coming up after the break, you know what we do right before Saturday? College football leans.